Great.
and he'll take it away.
All right, we're back with Hal inside the depot now, everyone.
This here is referred to as the Brailer block. And by the way, these are photographs of the train depot along the Southern Pacific tracks, again behind where Les Schwab is on 7th Street and Academy.
So that's what it looked like in the 1800s.
That's what it looked like when it was built, and like I said, it must have removed a little section of it to move it over here because it was just too big. But this was the Brailer block on 7th Street in Sanger. Everything inside of the displays comes from the actual stores.
Wow.
So some folks might remember in the old days when you went to the post office, they had the wanted posters on the wall of who the FBI was looking for. And then around 90 years ago, that little machine right there, the white one, caused a sensation here in Sanger. School kids would go down to 7th Street to the bakery and watch them slice bread in the morning on Saturday mornings.
Oh, wow.
You could buy sliced bread right here in Sanger because of that machine right there.
Actual sliced bread. Things we take for granted now, right?
Yep, for sure. At one time, Sanger had 2 movie theaters. Believe it or not, the Sanger and the Royal. This is the ticket taker machine that they had. And that's one of the movies that they were showing, but
Wow.
2 movie theaters right here in Sanger.
Is that one of the original posters?
Yeah, oh yes. And these are original ticket stubs there.
Wow. I never knew that.
When I came to Sanger, there used to be a bowling alley over.
Yeah, I used to go to the bowling alley when I was a kid.
They ran buses from the high school to the bowling alley. It was a PE class.
Yeah, I would do that when I was in high school, yeah.
This gentleman right here is Mr. Lombardi. He was a conductor on the railroad. A couple of years ago, his daughter gave us his uniform, his conductor's uniform, but he was an actual conductor on the train, Mr. Lombardi.
Wow. Looks like he's driving a Ford Galaxy.
Yeah. I think it's a 65.
I have a 65.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it was my grandpa's.
Well, I graduated from high school in '64. And these are just pictures of different people involved with the Depot Museum, historic families right here in Sanger.
Wow, a lot of it. Now, what is this giant ruler?
Oh, at Sanger High School in the old days, matter of fact, when I started in college, that was the very beginning of calculators. And so if you were in a science class or something and the batteries on your calculator went dead, in order to finish your test, they handed you a slide rule. So that was done for all, to do scientific work, working with real small numbers, real big numbers.
So slide rulers are that big, huh?
Well, no, that's the teacher's
demo. Oh, all right.
Yeah. But yeah, that was an important part of the math curriculum at one time. There was a unit in there where they taught you how to use the slide rule.
Yeah, I never used one when I was in high school, not in the 80s.
Now everything's on calculators and computers.
Everything's on your phone now.
Yeah. This is the first iPhone right here. At one time in Sanger, if you needed to make a phone call or something, you picked up this, contacted the operator, say, I'd like to talk to Jimmy, his number is 543. She would make the connection, and then you could talk to your friend or whatever. But yeah, that's the first iPhone.
And you cranked it to get a charge, to get a hold of the operator?
Yeah. And there's the levers that control the east-west traffic through town here.
For the tracks. Wow.
There's a quilt that was made by forget her name now. Jan Gertz. It was a money maker, a fundraiser, and all the ladies all around Sanger found different historic things. Like right in the center, you see the train depot right there.
Yeah. I see Sunmade. My dad was in charge of all maintenance and engineering there for a long time.
Sunmade was a big thing here. So each panel was made by a lady, and then it was put up for auction, and then the lady that won it donated it to us. So that was very nice of her to do.
Wow. A lot of history.
Early Sanger, a lot of cowboys out here. Here's a display of different things that a ranch would have. And these Indian baskets here, if you know where Millerton Lake is, if you know where the dam is there, that tribe lived right under where the dam is now.
Wow.
And then you see obsidian arrowheads and grinding stones that came from some of our local ranchers, donated them to us.
Oh, so those were found here locally?
Oh, yes. And these are many of the different brands from local ranchers and the cowboys all around Sanger here.
Wow. See, they have that's probably a Sanger bottle there. I found a Sanger bottle once for sale, and I didn't get it in time. I regret that.
Yeah, we've got some inside of one of the Brailer block display. Sanger had a bottling company at one time. This is the class of 1929. Beautiful pictures. We've got the yearbooks from all the classes. Most of the displays are, smaller like this, but for some reason the class of 29 had a big, gigantic display. And one of the things that when we get little kids in here that they fascinates them, particularly the boys, they love the hairstyles.
Yeah.
But you see, these are all class pictures going to the 20s, 1919, 1917. Everybody is beautifully dressed for their class pictures.
Yeah, they have on their suits and dresses.
Yeah. And the earliest class picture we have is 1905, and that's on display in the Schoolhouse Museum over here.
Wow. I didn't know we had a schoolhouse museum too. I'll have to look at that sometime too.
These are all fossils that were discovered at the in the Fairmead landfill up by Madeira. They brought in people from UC Berkeley, and they started doing excavations or digging up fossils. And they said all of these animals, from giant mammoths to camels to saber-toothed tigers, all of these animals walked up and down the streets of Sanger at one time.
Wow.
And then they disappeared about 9,000 years ago with the last ice age. But the Madeira landfill, the Madeira people allowed us to keep the fossils. And now there's a museum up by where these were discovered.
Wow. That's incredible.
I think it's on Cleveland Avenue.
Oh, that's like a prehistoric wolf or something, huh?
Yeah, prehistoric wolves, lions, giant mammoths, giant ground sloths that if they stood up, you would hit his head on the ceiling. They were so gigantic.
That's incredible.
Some more? Yes, go ahead.
These here are pictures of a lot of our pioneer families here, the Barr family, the Pistachio family, the Moglias, the Motos.
I think the Barr family still has a packing house towards Reedley, right?
Well, there's a bar packing just as you come into Sanger. It isn't used as much as it used to be. And then, of course, one of our most famous Sanger people, Mr. Tom Flores.
Yep.
His family lived in a home that belonged to Japanese Americans. They had been sent to the camps. So the home was open and they lived in that home.
Wow.
But that's
My daughter's coming down from Oregon,
Bob,
so
and that's Tom, and that's his mother and father there. But all of these Magnonis, Merlots, these are all important families in the history of Sanger.
they lived around
Yeah, it's very neat.
And this is the last family that actually lived in the depot. They have